then I got very interested in technical analysis and charted stocks and did all kinds of crazy things, hours and hours and hours, and saved money to buy other stocks and tried shorting and I just did everything. And then when I was either 19 or 20, and I can't remember exactly where I did it or something, I picked up a book someplace. It wasn't a textbook at school, but it was in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I looked at this book and I saw one paragraph, and it told me I'd been doing everything wrong. I just had the whole approach wrong. I thought I was in the business of trying to pick stocks that would go up, and in one paragraph, I saw that was totally foolish, and I left. I brought something that it's really interesting. Let's put up. What do we call this chart? Don't think we. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Let's put up illusion 1. Done. Yeah, there we have it. Now if you look at that, some people will see two faces. Some people will see a vase. And some people will look a long time and only see two faces. But the mind flips from one side to another. And there's some name for it that they call it ambiguous illusions or something of the sort. There's other things that talk about aha moments, or in the old comic strips with Popeye, Wimpy would have a little balloon over his head and the light bulb would go on. There's this point where all of a sudden you see something you haven't seen. Well, it took me, I had an illusion that I was looking at, we'll say in that one, two phases. Let's go to the one labeled 2. And if you're looking at it from one side, looks like a rabbit, and if you look the other way, it looks like you're looking at a duck. And the mind is a very funny place, and I think people call it an apperceptive mass when you have all kinds of things going on in your mind, and they go on for years, and they sit there and get lost, and then all of a sudden you see something different than what you were seeing before. Now, it took me in stocks, which I was intensely interested in, and I had a decent IQ, and I was reading and thinking, and it was important to me to make some money on it. I had every motivation in the world. And then I read a paragraph, actually, in chapter 8, I think it was, of The Intelligent Investor. And it told me that I wasn't looking at the duck, I was looking, now it was the rabbit, whatever it may be. And whether you call it a light bulb, whether you call it, a moment of truth, whatever it may be. And that happened to me in Lincoln. I mean, it changed my life. If I hadn't read that book, I don't know how long I would have gone on looking for Head and Shoulders formations and 200-day moving averages and the odd-lot ratios and a zillion things. And I love that kind of stuff, except it was the wrong stuff I was looking at. And I've had that happen, and Charlie's had it happen, I'm sure. I will tell you what changed my own life on investing. I started investing when I was 11. I first started reading about it. I believe in reading everything in sight, and first started reading about it when I was probably 6 or 7 years old. But for about 8 years, I wandered around with technical analysis and doing all kinds of things. And then I read a book called The Intelligent Investor. And I did that when I was 19 down at the University of Nebraska. And I would say that if you absorb the lessons The Intelligent Investor, mainly, and I wrote a foreword and I recommended particularly chapters 8 and 20, that you will not behave like a lemming, and you may do very well compared to the lemmings. We have here in the bookworm copies of The Intelligent Investor, and I think it's as great a book now as I did when I read it early, I guess, in 1950. You can't get a bad result if you follow the lessons of Ben Graham taught in that book.
And I would say this in terms of the predictions, and I know the spirit in which you asked the question, but there's a market out there all the time, and people love to hear predictions. I mean, if I said I was going to offer a bunch of predictions today, I mean, we would have 1 million people here. I mean, they're dying to have predictions, and speeches at Rotary clubs or trade associations or whatever. They just plain love it, and that's what a whole industry is built upon. You know, the people coming out of Washington that talk about political predictions, and I don't read those in the paper at all, because it's space fillers basically. And you mentioned Edgar Casey. Ben Graham knew Edgar Casey pretty well, but I just have never seen any utility to any of that at all. There will be some huge surprises in the world. There's no question about that. But I don't think that betting on any specific one is a very smart policy.